Hello, all. Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hope you guys had a good day. I know everybody's probably tuckered out and hungover after yesterday's Super Bowl. If you're not a big fan of the Patriots, I'm sorry for you. And hey, if you're a fan of the Rams, I'm sorry that they didn't win. Only reason why I wanted them to win is because it's California. So they're from California. That's the only reason. I'm not a big football fan, but I do respect people that are into football. And like I said, hopefully your team gets them next season if they're not the Patriots. And if you are a Patriots fan, congratulations to you and all that good stuff. So, anyways, today's topic I'm going to be talking about is Sun Tzu's The Art of War. And to let you know, I'm not just talking about it. I have my own copy here. So I've read this book twice, and I will probably read it a couple of times because it's very deep and it's very on point in my personal opinion. So let's get into it. If you haven't heard this book, but most people have, this book is very historical. It's been around for a long time, probably longer than, if my recollection corrects me, it's been around a lot longer than I've even been alive. So The Art of War is a great book for many people to read and check out, especially if you are a competitive person who likes various amounts of competition. And obviously, if you're in business, competition is your middle name, sometimes your first, middle, and last name. Just depends on how you look at it. Whether you believe it or not, people are constantly in stages of battles. The art of war is an ancient Chinese military tactic strategies dating from late spring and autumn time period in the world. The work, which is attributed to the ancient Chinese military strategist known as Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu, composed of this book, has about 13 chapters. Each one is devoted to an aspect of warfare and how it applies to military strategy and tactics. And I'm going to read a few wise battle strategies that the book discusses. And then afterwards, obviously, from each category that I've chose, I'm going to give my perspective on it. So here we go. Number one, and so in the military, knowing the other and knowing oneself, in 100 battles, no danger. Not knowing the other, knowing oneself. One victory for the one loss. Not knowing the other and not knowing oneself. In every battle, certain defeat. My perspective. I like this one because when in any sort of battle and competition, you have to know who yours and your competitor's strengths and weaknesses are. It's just like going into a boxing match. If you do not know yourself and your opponent, that could end up in a loss in the battle. And that's what the result can be. So knowing your opponent, strengths and weaknesses in your own, it's definitely something to capitalize on, because you can capitalize on the weaknesses because they're going to darn sure do their darndest to capitalize on yours. So look at it like that. Number two, knowing my troops can strike, yet not knowing the enemy cannot be struck. This is half of the victory. Knowing the enemy can be struck, yet not knowing my soldiers cannot strike. My perspective on this one. So a leader or owner, as one, it's in your best interest to know your troops and how they strike in the strongest way against their enemies. And in this, obviously, we're talking about business, because I'm just looking at this from a business perspective. So you're going after your competition's customers and by having a better product at the end of the day. Look at it like that. That would make your clients, your competitors' customers want to select your product, whether they're shopping online or in a store or whatever have you. This way the leader can direct the troops, because whether you believe it or not, your employees are your troops and whatnot, and you're going into battle every day. If you have employees, or even if you were just a one-person shop, you got to look at yourself as every single aspect of your own military. All right, so your troops can strike in an appropriate way to attack in battle. If you're selling products to customers and have employees selling them for you, you have to know which markets the products cater to, like I was talking about earlier. If not, then you stem the big chance to end at the end of the day with zero sales, hence $0, hence the chance of your company going out of business. Never a good thing. All right. Number three, this is half of battle. Knowing the enemy can be struck, knowing my soldiers can strike, yet not knowing that the form of the earth cannot be used to do battle. This is half of the victory. Love this one. My perspective on this one, so when you are familiar with a specific territory, the chances of victory can go up. But before you enter unfamiliar territory, it's always wise to educate yourself and take lessons from your elders in order to eliminate unnecessary casualties of war. And there's always certain casualties of war or casualties of business if you're not wise enough to take a good amount of advice from those who are wise, hence those who are older than you, because they have a lot more life experience. A lot of people, and I'm not saying not all my generation, but a lot of my generation and the younger generation do not believe in taking advice from elders that much because of google.com and because of YouTube. And I think it's great that you can look up something and whatnot. That gives you the opportunity to challenge somebody, but that does not give you the opportunity to just blow people off that's had way more life and time on earth. I think we can all learn from each other at the end of the day, and I think it's very disrespectful that a lot of people are not even willing to listen to others. That's why we have so much division going on within the United States at the same time, because not everybody's right all the time. I'm not right all the time. There's times I'm right, there's times I'm wrong, but I'm a man enough to admit when I'm wrong and say thank you for educating me on the specific subject matter, because I like to learn. It's that crazy thing called curiosity, so that's my opinion on that. When one employs battle, if victory takes long, it blunts the military and grinds down its sharpness. Attaching walled cities, one's strength is diminished. If soldiers are long in the field, the state's resources are insufficient. Now, if one blunts the military's grind down its sharpness. My perspective on this one. Speak of yourself and those you are leading to ensure that you are not wasting and utilizing all of your resources. People love to use all their money nowadays. They're not big on saving because they got, everybody has that I live for today and not tomorrow nonsense, which is the main reason why so many people are in debt. And I mean a lot of debt, unnecessary debt. But that's another story for another day. Especially when we're talking about running a company, households, etc. Because I always tell people, whether you believe it or not, you're the CEO of your own life. You're the boss of your own life, even if you don't own a company. Because especially if you run a household, especially if you're at a job, you pay bills, you're running your life and you don't even realize it. So don't just have an employee mentality. Conservation of resources such as people and money is key to any sort of survival. Zero personnel and $0 equals zero chance of survival. Just like yourself, if you no paycheck and if you're not rich, that means you have a zero chance of survival if you do not try your hardest to get another job or create a business, to get with the right people, hence get with the right people and try to make something happen outside of the norm of just having a good paying job. So I look at it like that. I end this video off with that because I think that we've been living in such a big consumer society that conservation is not really key to a lot of things with people. And since people don't believe, you have a lot of people that have a minimalist movement going on, which I think is great. Not having the big house, not having the fancy cars, not buying so much stuff. So I think that's an awesome thing. People are just, getting rid of a lot of stuff because, heck, I'm guilty of this. I got junk in my house that I don't use and, we'll plan to throw away eventually, but we consume so much stuff and it eventually, for the moment, it makes us feel good, but then after a while, it just ends up sitting there and collecting dust. So try to conserve what you can in order for you to put your time and energy and money in other things that's going to uplift your life at the same time. So that's a couple of little ditties that I took away from the book, some of my favorite ones. I had a lot more, but I didn't want to make this video too long. But Art of War, great book. Obviously, I'm sure you can get the audio book if you want to nowadays. It's like most people don't read. I'm still old school when it comes to reading. I like to read a book, but check it out. It's a great book, and it allows you to think differently. And that's the thing. When I'm reading a book, I like to read things that I can relate to from a cultural perspective a lot of times. But now I love to read books that take me outside of my world that I've always known my whole life, and takes me outside of the world that I was told to by my parents and by my relatives and friends and whatnot. Something that most people aren't going to talk about. Like, it's no disrespect to anybody that likes the Super Bowl and football and whatnot, but it's, with football season, most people aren't talking about the art of war. People are talking about the fact that they're mad at the Patriots. He ain't got to the Super Bowl. They even, won the Super Bowl. So thinking outside the box, living outside the box can give you outside of the box results. So just my perspective. If you guys like the video, please give it a like, please share, please subscribe, and please check out my online store. And hey, it's the beginning of the week, so hope you guys have a great week and keep on rocking on. All right, take care.